Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to day 5 of the Modesty Series. Today, we're going to talk about how modesty for men is not just lowering their gaze, but what they choose to reveal, what they wear, and whether what they're wearing is contributing towards their arrogance. See, when we talk about modesty, when the topic of modesty comes up, we are quick to mention women. Yes, brother, mashallah, this is a very good series because the way that the women are dressing nowadays, and we immediately assume that we're just going to what? Talk about how women dress. But rather, the men, the brothers, they should actually be the central focus. In the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the believers to lower their gaze and cover up their private parts. وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ. Allah first addressed who? The believing men. So this is a reminder that the men carry the responsibility when it comes to haya. The culture of haya that we have, it is the responsibility of men to make sure that as a community, as a culture, your household, whoever you have authority over, that we are all observing haya, that we are all showing up modest in our speech, in our behavior, and especially in our dressing. Sometimes some men do this thing where they will dress modestly, all right, mashallah, but they allow their wives, their daughters, their mothers to step outside dressed inappropriately or not dressed modestly. And when it is brought up, they have the attitude of, oh, well, I dressed well. I told them they didn't listen, and at least I'm dressed well. No, you are responsible for them. So the responsibility of haya is upon you. If your wife is not dressing modestly, you're also not modest. If your daughters are not dressing modestly, you are not a modest man. If your mothers, if whoever you have authority over or you can speak to and advise them, and they are not observing modesty, then that affects your modesty as well. So, what does modesty in men's dressing mean? We're not about to sit here and try to tell you that in order for men to dress modestly, they have to, wear things that don't look good and just look gray and gloomy. No. But rather, men dressing modestly means that they are observing the rules and regulations of dressing in Islam, and then also that their clothing is not reflecting one that has arrogance, but rather one that has humility. The guidance for how men should dress revolves around these few principles. The first principle is covering your ʿawrah. This is a very popular one. All of us should know this. Anything under your navel, right, around your belly button to your knees needs to be covered. What does this mean? Summertime is coming up. And I know some of us like our frat boy khaki shorts, that we like to rock with the polo shirt and the glasses, hair slicked back, mashallah. However, you need to make sure that your shorts are going over your knees, that they cover your knees. Don't let it stop at the knees. Let it go past your knees. And I'm sorry, this might not look like how everyone else wears the khaki shorts or whatever kind of shorts that you wish to wear that comes above your knees. This is for the men. However, you need to remind yourself. Remember yesterday's lesson. Who are we dressing for? What should be the intention behind your dressing? Are you dressing to fit with the standards of society? Are you dressing to conform to a culture that does not even believe in Allah? Or are you dressing to please the one who created you? Are you dressing to get closer in your relationship with the one who will grant you paradise, which is your ultimate goal? So I know I'm going to mention these things that that might fundamentally change the way you look in general. And this might be a huge change. And this change will not come easy because what we're about to go over, this might require a change of wardrobe, a change of style. You might end up looking like a completely different person. But who are you doing it for? Yourself or for the sake of Allah? Another principle under covering the ʿawrah, right? Those of us who go doing certain activities, whether it's sports, whether it's swimming, and we wear certain clothing for these activities, are we covering the ʿawrah? And covering the ʿawrah does not only mean making sure that the clothes is physically, that it's past the knee, it's above my navel, so I'm good to go. No, you must also make sure that it is not tight. Yes, men are also not supposed to wear tight clothing. If your clothing is so tight that we are still able to see the outline, the shape of your body parts, of your private parts, right? Those of us who go to the gym and mashallah, you've put in the hard work and you were able to get some gains. You wear these muscle shirts, these shirts that show off your muscles. Is this appropriate Islamically? No. It is too tight and it is going to make it difficult for the sisters to also lower their gaze. Just as how we would complain or just as how we would criticize the sisters who wear tight clothing, then the same thing also the men should not also be wearing tight clothing. It goes against the rules and regulations of how we are supposed to dress in Islam. Brother, this is way too many rules. That remember who you are doing this for. It is not so I can look at you and say, yes, you look like more of a Muslim. It's not about what I think. It's about what Allah expects of us. May Allah make it easy for us. Another aspect of covering your ʿawrah that we must mention is those of us who wear clothes that fit us exactly. What do I mean by this? If you wear a shirt that fits you exactly by the waist, when you make salah, when you go to the masjid and you go into ruku or you make sujood, now we all know what color your underwear is. We all know whether or not you lotioned your backside. This is embarrassing. Every imam of every masjid can tell you that at least once a month, minimum once a month, most likely once a week, somebody will come and tell the imam, whisper in his ear, "Assalamu alaikum, imam. Can you please advise the public, advise the men when they come that they should make sure that the clothing, it covers their back because when they make ruku, we see things that we don't want to see." This is going against the rules of haya. This is going against what we are trying to achieve with this series. Not only observing modesty, but preserving your dignity. It is very undignified that you make sujood, that you make ruku, and we see this part of your body. As the young people will say, what a aura loss. What an aura loss for everybody to see this part of your body. So please make sure that a general rule of thumb, a great piece of advice, whatever clothing size you fit into, buy a size above that. It is going to be loose. It won't be tight. It will most likely cover the parts, your ӓwrah that you're supposed to cover. And because it is a size above your normal one, when you make ruku, when you make sujood, there is room for what? For when you lean over and your shirt stretches, there is room enough for the shirt to still cover that part. That is why I personally prefer to wear the thobe, because the thobe makes it easy for you to what? Check all of these boxes. You don't have to wear the thobe because that is not mandated in Islam. Whatever clothing that is normal in your culture, you can wear as long as it what does not cross the boundaries that are set by haya. Another boundary that we must not cross is that men are not supposed to wear clothing that resembles the clothing of women. We must not dress like the woman. In Islam, this is a big no, no. The men need to dress like men, the women need to dress like women. What this look like might differ from culture to culture, but generally it is the same. Generally, there is an understood, line that this is how men dress and this is how women dress. The culture that we have today, a lot of young men are experimenting and wearing clothing that is usually reserved for women. We must stay away from doing this as men, as Muslim men. May Allah make it easy. Another thing you must consider, are you dressing to please people? Are you dressing, as they say, for the gram? Are you wearing clothes because you know that this is going to be a tough fit that people will definitely like? That people would definitely like and comment? Are you dressing for this purpose? If so, even if you are following the rules of covering your ʿawrah and you look modest, but because your intention to wear these clothes is so you can show off to the people, that puts you in a very dangerous position. This also goes against the rules of haya. So it's not just looking the part, but your niyyah. It is not haram to buy these expensive brands. But do you want to buy this brand? Do you want this logo to show just so you can what? Show people that you have a certain level of wealth. So you need to assess yourself and look at yourself and see, why am I wearing what I wear? One of the rules of haya when it comes to dressing for men is to avoid israf, excess, overdoing it. One watch, cool. Why are you wearing two watches? A bracelet, that's fine. I'm not saying it's haram. But when you have so many bracelets on your arms and so many things around your neck, and you have these different hairstyles where you're doing all of these type of things, I'm not saying you're not allowed to do so. What I am saying is this modest. Don't settle for less. Something that I have observed is that when a man wants to get close to Allah, when they start seeking knowledge, when their relationship with Allah improves, you see they slowly start to drop all of these excess adornments, all of these different things that we wear to beautify ourselves. It becomes less and less the closer you get to Allah. Think about it. The one who is seeking knowledge, memorizing Quran, always thinking of Allah, making dhikr, trying to improve their taqwa, you slowly see them start to lose the bracelets. They start to lose the necklaces. They start to lose the indoor shades and these extravagant hairstyles. Be simple, be humble, be modest, especially as men. Remember, the goal of everything we're talking about is not just so we can present ourselves in a way and tell people, oh, look at me, I'm Muslim, but it is because our dressing will affect how we present ourselves. And how we present ourselves is a reflection of our iman. Our goal is to show and prove to Allah that yes, we not only believe in terms of our words, but we believe in our actions as well. And the final point I want to make is that haya, dressing modestly, dressing with haya, helps those of us who have insecurity. If you are insecure about yourself, if you are insecure about, the way your skin is, your body shape, and all of these different things, you're insecure about the type of clothes that you have, they're not the expensive name brands that other people wear, then you should know that Islam asks us to dress for the sake of Allah. And Allah will accept you and love you for how you are as long as you're trying your best. So if you are putting out your best and this is how you look, just know that that is enough for Allah. If you internalize this, you will find that your insecurities start to seem insignificant. You will realize that I was insecure because I cared what people thought about me, or I allowed society standards to dictate what is okay or not okay for me to be like. But once you cover your ʿawrah, you dress with humility, you dress in a way where you're not trying to be arrogant, you don't wear tight clothing, and you make sure you abide by the rules of haya, it doesn't matter whether your clothing is expensive or not. Don't let these insecurities stop us from being modest. This is what وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ that we mentioned a few episodes ago. Yeah, look, people are going to say this, people are going to say that. Don't worry what people think. Think about what Allah thinks of you. And Allah appreciates your best. Therefore, we should not be insecure about how we look, as long as we try and do and show up in our best. May Allah make it easy for us. So, the homework for today, and this is going to be a very big step for a lot of us. If you have to do it bit by bit, go ahead. But the homework for today is go through your wardrobe. I'm speaking to the men today. Go through your wardrobe and look at the clothes that you have. If it's too tight, you want to be a modest Muslim, you want to get close to Allah, you want to improve your haya, the tight clothing have to go. The clothing that is above your knees, the shorts that are above your knees and exposing your ʿawrah, we have to let them go. You might say, oh, this is how I dress. This is my wardrobe. This is my style. Style yourself for the sake of Allah. It is worth it. And you will find that what? Your relationship with Allah improves because you're giving up something for the sake of Allah. And in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever gives up something for the sake of Allah, Allah gives them something that is greater than that. Allah replaces it with something that is better. So let's stop dressing for the sake of culture and let's dress for the sake of Allah. We ask that Allah grant us dignity, strength, and humility. We ask that Allah protect us from arrogance. We ask that Allah allow us to dress with taqwa in mind. And we ask that Allah help us to guard our chastity and cover our private areas. May Allah make it easy for us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.